the files and folders in DOS, in the same way we will operate all the files and folders in Unix also, but the commands are different. Okay, so we are going to learn the basic commands of Unix, okay, how we will operate with the files and folders. So ls is a list of files. Okay, so if I press ls, okay, if I type ls at the prompt and press enter, it will give me all the list of files or folders which are existing in the current directory. Okay, so how to find in which directory I am right now existing. Okay, PWD, it is present working directory. Okay, please note down your notes also in speed, and you can get it fair once I send you the document. Okay, so PWD is for present working directory, and press enter. It will give you the path of the directory in which you currently existing. Okay, so it is home Praveen. It is my current directory in which I am residing now. Okay, so now, okay, if I want to come out of this particular present directory, then I can use CD. It is change directory. Okay, so change directory. Okay, where I want to go, a slash represents root directory here. In Unix, a slash represents root directory, and then the actual directory within the root, and then if I give slash and if I give one more name, that is another folder. But now I just wanted to come out of the present directory Praveen. Okay, so I'm just giving CD slash and then home. So I'm coming out of Praveen. See, here it is showing me. So now if I give present working directory, it will show me only home. It means I came back to one directory before. Okay, and now if I wanted to make a new directory, right, mkdir, make directory. Okay, so these directory commands are almost similar to DOS. Okay, mkdir, and you give a folder name. Okay, I'm giving a folder 1. So I am trying to make a new directory, folder 1, in the present working directory. What is my present working directory? It is home, and I'm trying to create a new folder called folder 1 in my home directory. Okay, press enter. Now if I give an ls, that means I just wanted to see whether folder 1 got created in my home directory or not. Press home ls. See, now I have a folder 1 also created. Okay, let me go into the folder 1. So how I can go into folder 1? With a command called change directory. Again, CD folder 1, press enter. See, the prompt is showing me the current folder in which I am residing, and then give a ls here to see files. So there are no files because it is a new directory, again new brand directory which we have created just now, so there are no files existing. Okay, so I wanted to create a file in my folder. So how to create a file? Okay, we have a command called cat. That is catalog. Okay, the short form of catalog is cat. Okay, this is called a cat command, okay, where you will redirect the content into a file. Okay, let me give file name as file1. Okay, so it is a redirection operator. Greater than is a redirection operator. Okay, file1 is a file, and we are trying to redirect the output of the cat command into file1. So while we are giving a redirection, we use the greater than symbol. Okay, so we have redirection operators. Okay, greater than is an output redirection. Okay, less than is a input redirection. Let me give you the notes. Okay, so coming to redirection operators. Okay, greater than symbol is an output redirection. Okay, less than symbol is an input redirection. Okay, so whenever I use greater than, okay, and if I don't give any name file, the default output device used is screen or monitor, whatever it may be. Okay, so if I use this greater than symbol, okay, the default device used is screen. Okay, but to override this default device, okay, what I can do is I can use it as greater than and a file name, so that whatever output will be generated with the command, that output will be moved into the file 1, or the output will be stored into file 1. If I don't give file, then it will appear at screen only. Okay, but it cannot be stored, right? If it is displayed on only screen, so at the next command it will be displayed, it will be disappeared. Okay, so we have to capture that output in some other file. So how we can override this output redirection with a default screen? We can give a file name after the redirection operator, so that the output generated by the command will be stored in file 1 and we can refer it later on. Okay, so that is what we are going to do here. A output redirection operator greater than, and we don't want it to display this output in screen. We have to capture this output into a file, so we are trying to capture it into a file. Okay, this is same for input also. Okay, so the default input device is keyboard. Okay, so if you don't provide any name after this less than symbol, okay, it will expect some input from the user through keyboard. Okay, but if I specify any file, then it will read this file, okay, which is at the less than symbol, and it will take that content of the file as input. Okay, so if I only give a less than symbol and I leave, it will expect some input from the keyboard. But if I want to give input from a file, the file content should be read by the command and do some operation, then I will override this operator by giving a file 1 or file name after the less than operator. That is input redirection operator. Okay, so for now it is okay to learn about redirection operators. Okay, we will have one more session while we start executing our utilities in Teradata. Okay, I will tell you some more in detail, okay, the number of operators and the numerical representation of operators and append, all those error operators and all. Okay, so for now it is enough to know we have output redirection operator and input redirection operator. Okay, the default devices are screen and keyboard. Okay, we can override them by giving a file name. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. Okay, cat greater than file 1, press enter. Now whatever input you give through keyboard, that will be redirected to file 1. Okay, so let me give a content. Okay, so this is my first Unix file. So this is my content, okay, which I am typing. I'm just pressing enter. Okay, and to terminate the content, again the cat command to terminate. Okay, if you are done with your input, then just press Control C. Okay, just I press Control C so that the input got terminated. Now see, the input was not displayed on the screen, but it was redirected to file 1. Okay, let's see whether file 1 got created or not. See, if I give a ls in folder 1, it has created a file 1. Okay, and the content should be, this is my first Unix file. Okay, how to see the content of the file? Again a cat command, but without a redirection operator. Okay, just give a file name, it will display the content of the file. Cat file 1, okay, it has displayed content of the file which I have given here. Right, so this is how we will create a file, and we can see the content of the file. Okay, for both the command is cat, Okay, the options are different. So if we are creating the file, we have to give a output redirection operator and the file name in which you want to capture the content. Okay, then you will type the content. Okay, once you're done with the content, press Ctrl C. Okay, so it will come out of that command and it will capture all the output to file 1, and you come and see with ls command if the file is created or not. And then if you wanted to see the content of the file, you give again the cat command, but the format is different. We are not using any redirection operator. We just wanted to see the content of the file. So we just giving cat the file name. So it will display the content of the file. So you may get a doubt that if I don't give a file name here, what happens? Right? So it is expecting the new line, cat something, and then the content, okay, and then Control C. And then if I want to see the content of the file, it is here. Okay, so the output redirection operator for cat, okay, it is mandatory to specify a file 1, because there are some other commands, okay, where you can use the redirection operator without overriding with a file. Okay, but for the cat command, the output redirection operator will expect a file so that the content typed after this command will be captured into that file and it will be displayed for you later on for your further use. Okay. So that is cat command. Cat is to create the files and to display the files. Okay. So now how many files I have? Okay. ls, I have 2 files. Right. So let me remove one of the file which I don't need. How to remove a file? With the command called rm. Remove. Remove. So I'm removing the file which I feel that it is unnecessary. I think you're able to see. Okay. rm, remove, and the file name. Press enter. And now see with ls. See, only file 1 is existing. The file dfdfd was deleted. Okay. Now I wanted to copy this file. Okay. So the file with the same content has to be displayed in other file. Okay, so I want to copy the file 1 as another file. How I can do that? The command called cp. Okay, take copy. File 1. File 1 is the source file, okay, which is the file already existing, and this has to be copied as another new name. Let me give file 2. Okay, we have seen by ls I just have a file 1 in the current folder. So now I wanted to copy file 1 as file 2. Okay, so the command is cp, the source file and the destination file. Okay, the destination file may be existing or not existing. Okay, if it is existing, it will be overridden. Okay, if it is not existing, it will be created newly. Okay, so let's give enter. And now if I give an ls, it should display 2 files, file 1 and file 2. And what should be the content of file 2? The same content which was existing in file 1. Right? So let us see how to see the content. The catalog command file 2. See, the same content, right, in file 1 also. So we have copied the file along with its content. Okay. Okay. So now, okay, I wanted to append this file 1. Okay, in file 1, I have only one line. Right? I wanted to append this file 1 so that some new content will be added to the end of the file. So how I can do that? I can do that with an double greater than operator. The single greater than is called output redirection. Double greater than is called, okay, append operator. Okay. So this is also an output redirection, but along with an append. So it won't delete the existing content. Okay, it will append the new content to the already existing content in the file. This is second line in Unix file. So this is, okay, sorry, we have to give file name, right? So double direction operator, and then which file we want to change. File 1, press enter, and then you start with your content. This is second line in Unix file. Okay, so I'm done with the content. Now Control C. Okay, you will get the command prompt. So now if I see the content of file 1 with the cat command, it will give the 2 lines. This is my first Unix file and this is second line in Unix file. So I'm getting 2 lines. Without losing the first line, I am able to append the second line at the end. Okay, if I use a single output redirection operator, what could have happened? It will remove the first line, and it will keep only the second line, okay, as a total content. Okay, so let us do it with file 2. Okay, file 2 is already existing. Okay, I just wanted to give a content to file 2, okay, with a output redirection operator. It is not an append. Okay, so if I give a single output redirection operator for the existing file, what happens? Okay, it will truncate the file and create with new content. Okay, Control C. Now if I give a cat command with file 2, it will delete the entire content of the file and it will start with the fresh content. Okay, that is with the output redirection operator. Okay, so with the output redirection operator, okay, if you give a file name, if it is already existing, then it will override the content, and if the file is not existing, then it will create the file. That is the functionality of a greater than symbol, that is output redirection operator. Okay, if a double greater than is used, then it expects the file is already existing, okay, and it will append the content at the end of the file. Okay, now let's see, there are 2 files. Okay. Now I wanted to rename the file 1 as file 3. Okay. I don't want to have a name as file 1. I just wanted to rename this file 1 as file 3. So how you can rename it? With the command called mv, that is move. Okay, so here in Unix, rename is called move. Okay, move the file 1, the source file name which is already existing, and the new file name, so to which you wanted to rename. Okay, so press enter. So the file 1 will be moved as file 3. Given ls. Now if you see, file 1 was not there, it got converted to file 3. Okay, to confirm, okay, the file 1 got converted to file 3, we have to see the content. File 3. See, the file 1 having appended with the second line. So the file 3 is same as the file 1. Okay, how the file 1 was appearing earlier, okay, at the same way the file 3 is appearing right now. So it got moved as file 3. So it is nothing but rename for us. Okay, so we have seen how to copy a file, how to rename a file, listing of the files, okay, and creation of a file and display of the file. Okay, so
Unmuted.
any questions up to here? Anyone? Any questions?
It's very clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. So let's move ahead and see the rest of the comments. Okay. So we have 2 files now. Okay, now I wanted to compare the content of the files. Okay, how we can compare the content? CMP is the command to compare 2 files. Well, suppose if I have a file with same content, okay, I won't get any difference. Okay, if there is any difference, then a report will be generated with the changes in the file. Okay. So we have two files now. So I am trying to compare these two files and let's see how the report is generated. If the same content, then it won't give any output, but if the content is different, it will give a report of differences. Okay. So it has compared file 2 and file 3 and it is giving the first occurrence of the difference in both the files. Okay. Byte 9 in line 1, okay, it found the first difference. So what is the content of file 2 and file 3? Let us see. File 2 and file 3. Okay, so this is, here also it started with this is, so how many bytes it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So up to space it is fine. So 8 bytes. But when it started with the 9th byte, it is S here and it is M here. So it found difference at the 9th byte of the first line. So that's what it has reported here. Right? So it will display the first occurrence of the difference in both the files and it will terminate. Okay, so this is how you can compare two files so that it will give you the first occurrence of the difference and terminate. Okay, so let's try with the same file. Okay, so to try with the same file, we have to create a same file. Okay, so I'm creating a same file with a copy. Right, so on file 3, I'm copying it as file 4, and now I'm giving the compare command. CMP file 3, comma file 4. Because it is with the CP command, that copy command, so it should contain the same content, right? So I'm giving compare command on the same files. See, there is no difference, so no output. If there is any difference, it will give the first occurrence of the difference as an output. Okay. So there is another similar command called diff, diff, so which finds the differences between two files and will report you all the differences. Okay. In compare command, you got only the first occurrence of the difference, right? But in diff command, it will give you the entire report. Okay, where are the changes? Let's try that. Diff file 3 space file 4. Both are same, right? File 3 and file 4 are same, so there is no output. Okay, let's try with different files. Diff file 2 with file 3. Okay, so these contents are different. So we are applying diff command on different files. 3. It's giving a redirection operator here. That means it is new line in the file. Okay, what is the content of file 2? The second line. Okay, so compared to the file 2, this is the new line which is existing in the first file. Okay, so in file 2, this is an extra line, and the rest of the content is same. The second line is common for both, so it is not a difference. Only the difference is, okay, file 3 was having one extra line, so that is what it is displaying. File 3 is having an extra line. Okay. So to see this very clear, let us do one thing. We will create two files. Cat file 5. I am giving just some numbers to some lines of 4, 5, 6. Control C. It will terminate and it will create a file 5. And I am creating one more file 6, okay, with the content with only the even numbers 2, 4 and 6. Okay, Control C. Now I am trying to see the exact differences of these two files. So I am comparing the diff command file 5 space file 6. Now see the entire report here. So all are with a single operator. That means these all are existing as extra in file 5. Okay, 1, 3, 5. Okay, everything is existing extra in file 5. Okay, let's do one thing. We will have some more content in file 6 so that we will get the extras in file 6 also in the report. File 6. Okay. So after 6 it is 8, right? And 10. So I have appended the content. So now if I see file 5, it is the sequence numbers 1 to 6, and in file 6 it is even numbers up to 10. Okay, now if I get the difference, we should give extra lines in the file 5 with a less than symbol, okay, and extra lines in the second file with a greater than symbol. 8 and 10 are not existing in file 5, so they have given, okay, with a greater than symbol. Okay, in the first file, whatever are extra, they were given with less than symbol. Okay, so this is how it will generate the entire report of differences, okay, by comparing two files. Okay, with the CMP command, it will just give you the first occurrence of the difference as the output. Okay, and if the files are same, then there is no output. Okay, in the diff command, if the files are same, there is no output, and if the files are different, then it will give you the entire report of extra lines in both the files. Okay, whichever are common, you won't get them in the report. So TWO, 2 exist in both the files, so you cannot see it in the report because it is same, and FOUR, 4, is not also displayed in the report because it is same. Okay, so whatever are extra in the file 6, they are displayed with the greater than symbol, and whichever are extra in the file 5 are displayed with the less than symbol. Okay, so this is how you can compare two existing files. Okay. So we have covered listing, okay, but still we have so many options in LS. I will show you. Okay, we have seen creation of file, we have seen view content of the file, copy command, remove command, move command. Okay, and we have seen the file comparison commands and diff commands. Okay, now let's see the file. Okay. And one more thing I wanted to inform you, as this is the Sigwin, a simulator of Unix on Windows. Again, some of the commands may not work properly, but I mean, no need to worry. Okay. But theoretically, you can find that. But some minor commands won't work as expected. Okay, as in the original Unix systems. Okay, but still, you can practice very well all the Unix commands here. So now we will start with a find command. Okay. So find command is to find a particular pattern file. Okay. Now if I give an ls, how many files we have generated? These many files. Okay, in real time we will be creating so many folders, so many files. Let's suppose some 10 folders, and in each folder some hundreds of files. Okay, so if we have such type of a real environment which is having more than 500 files, 600 files, around 1000 files, okay, it is difficult, okay, to remember which file is existing in which folder. Okay, sometimes we may not know, okay, the files where they are exactly existing in which folder, right? So to find such type of files, okay, we know the file name, but we don't know in which folder it got existing, right? So in such situations, we can use the find command, okay, to find the exact path or exact location of the file in which it is existing. Okay. So let's see. We have 3 folders here. Okay. Now I wanted to find out where is my file 4. Okay, because I forgot where my file 4 is existing. So now what I can do, find, okay, file 4. Okay, so it is trying to search in the current directory where the file 4 is not existing, right? So now we have to give a path from the current directory. Okay, it has to search for the file 4. See, it has given all the files list. Okay, from the current directory it has given all the files list, whatever are files existing in each and every folder. Find name as file 4. Okay, we have to give a switch. Okay, this is called a switch, the hyphen name. Okay, so this is the general and frequently used switch with the find command. Okay, so find a switch. Okay, as per the name it has to search, and what is the name to be searched? File 4. So it will give you, okay, wherever the file 4 is existing from the current directory called dot. Okay, dot represents current directory in Unix. Okay, dot represents current directory and slash represents root. So that we already discussed, right? Slash, let me give that. Slash represents root directory and dot represents current directory. In the same way, tilde symbol represents the home directory. Okay. And along with the dot we can learn double dot also, which represents previous directory. Okay, so we can use these symbols to access these folders. Okay, whenever you want to access the current directory you can use a dot symbol. Okay, whenever you want to access the previous directory you can use a double dot. Okay, whenever you use a slash that represents a root directory, and whenever you use a tilde symbol it accesses home directory. Okay, so here what we have accessed, the current directory. From the current directory onwards we wanted to see if where the file 4 existing. So that's why we have used the switch called minus name. Okay. What happens if I use find command with a slash hyphen name file 4? So it is trying to search from the root directory where I don't have accesses also. Still it is searching. All permissions denied, because from root directory there are so many system folders where the normal user won't have accesses. Okay, so like that we can access the folders with the symbols dot, double dot, hash, and not hash, slash, and the tilde symbol. See, from root directory there are so many files to search, so it is still trying to search. So to terminate any of the command, just press Ctrl C. Okay, if any command is taking longer time and if you don't need the output, okay, you can terminate that command with a Ctrl C. Okay, you can represent Ctrl C as this. That is Control button plus C. Okay, to terminate existing command, running command, or to interpret, to terminate from the current command. Okay, so that is what, okay, we will use a find command to search a file within the folders. That is the use of the file command. Where is the file? So if you have such a question, where is the file, then you can use a find command with the switch called -name and the file name. So it will get you where the file name existing. So if it is existing more than one folder, it will give you path of all that particular locations. Okay. And let's see these commands. Okay. What is in the file? Because to see the content of the file, we used cat. Right? With the cat command, we use to display the content of the file. Okay. So there are some situations where the file is having very huge content, and when you give cat command with the file content, the file name, it will give you the content, but it will scroll up, because if there are 5 pages in the file, then it will scroll up and you will get to know only the file, only the last page content of the file. Okay, so all the remaining 3 pages was all 3 pages were already scrolled up, so you are able to see only the last content of the file. Okay, so that is a disadvantage, okay, when using cat command. If it is small page, that you can accommodate the content within the screen, but if it is very large content, okay, the content will scroll up and you will get to know only the last page or last content of the file. Okay, so to see that, let's create a file, file 7, file 7. Okay, how to create a file with the content? The output redirection. File 7. Now I'm giving some content. 1, 2, 3. Some content I'm giving, so that it would scroll up and you can see the practice demo. Okay, so finally I'm giving end of the file, and then Control C. So now if you see, file 7 was created, and if I give the cat command with the file 7, it will scroll up and it will show you only the end of the page, but I missed the previous content. Here, this much of content I missed because it got scrolled up. Okay. So if it is very huge file having some hundreds of lines, okay, this pool is also not enough. Okay, here at least I am scrolling up and I am able to see the content, but sometimes, okay, it may also exceed this pool. So even I go up in the screen, I may miss it, some content. Okay, so to use to see the content of that much of huge files, we can use a less command, less file 7. So it will spool up to the page and it will ask you to press enter to go further. So press enter. See, it will started with the first line of the page and it has stopped here, okay, asking you to press any other key to scroll further. So now if I press enter, okay, it will start showing me the further content, and here it is showing me the end of the file. And so I can press enter and I can see the file is scrolling up so that I can find the whole content. Okay, so that is where we will use a less command, and a more command also is used similar way, but more doesn't work in Cygwin, because in the installation we have to select some of the base commands. If we miss to select those commands, then the commands cannot be worked here. Yeah. Okay. So just to come out of this, :Q. Okay. When you give a less command with the file name, it will scroll page by page, okay, by pressing enter key, and to come out of that less command you will give a :Q, which will quit. Okay, So this is how you can use a less command to see the content which has more pages within the file without scrolling all the content to up. Okay. Now we have man command. Why we use a man command? Let's go to our folders. Okay, it is DOS, right? Let me close DOS. Okay. So now I'm in my home directory. I'm going into folder 1. Okay. I'm giving an ls. So these are the files which I presently have. Okay. Right. Sometimes we have to get some more help on any of the command. Okay, so to get help on a particular command, we have a meta command called man, manual of any of the command. Let's suppose if I give ls. Okay, so I wanted to see the manual of ls. It is man ls. You press enter. It will give you the all options which you can use along with the ls command and what happens if you use these commands. See, these are the number of switches I can use along with the ls command. Okay, options and file. So how the command should be used? ls, option and a file. Okay, there can be any n number of options. So that's why they have mentioned it with 3 dots. 3 dot means repetition. You can repeat n number of options and you can repeat n number of file names after the ls command. Okay, so these are the options and their descriptions. See how many options are there with the ls command alone. See, these are the options. Okay, generally we use some 5 to 6 options of ls. The first one is -l. See, what is a -l? Use a long listing format. Okay, when I am giving ls and simply entering it, okay, it is giving the file names. But if I use a -l option, it will give a long listing of the format. Okay, so note down -l. We are going to try -l with a long listing of format, and then a r. R is for reverse order while sorting. Okay, and a T option. Sort by modification time. Okay, we are going to get the long listing of the file with a -l, and we want to sort all the files as per their modification time, and this sorting order should be in reverse, that is with -r. Okay, so this is the combination which we are going to see now. Okay, the first one is -l, that is the long listing of the file. T, sort by modification time, and the sorting order should be in reverse order with -r. So let's try those options. :Q will get out of this man command. Okay, so the content is still existing here. Okay, so ls, with a simple ls, I'm getting the list of the files like this. With a long list, for a long list, I'm using -l. So it is giving a long list. Long list means it will give you the permission details, the user details, and the date and time of the file. So along with the file name, it will give you these many number of details. So that is called long listing. Okay, permissions, node numbers, user, the group names, dates and size, okay, time and the file name. So these are the details you can get along with the file name. Okay. So if I wanted to sort these as per the time of creation, then how I can use that? ls minus lt. See, now the files got sorted as per the time. See, the 43, 42, 39, 34, 33. Okay, sorted as per the time in descending order. But if I wanted to make it in ascending order, LTR. So now they got sorted as per the times. So this is the command we most frequently use in real time, okay, to see the last modified file at the end. Because why we use this reverse order and all? Because if we have some hundreds of files, okay, it will scroll up. So once we scroll up the screens, okay, we can get the recent files at the end, and we can find out, okay, what are the recent files got modified. Okay, so that is why, okay, we use ls minus lrt. Okay, the sequence could be anything. It could be lrt or ltr, anything, but we will get the output same. Okay, so why we use this with the long listing, with a timestamp sorted, and with the ascending order. Okay, because all the files would scroll up, and we will get the last modified files at the end at the screen. Okay, so this is the command which we use very frequently. ls minus lrt, long listing with the timestamp sorted in ascending order. Okay. And how we know this, all these options? With the command called man, right? With the man, and if you give any of the command, it will give you help of the command, what all our switches we have, and you can try them. Okay, so we have covered all file commands, okay, and some of the directory commands also we have covered: cd, change directory, and make directory, present working directory, and all. Okay, so tomorrow we'll continue and we'll cover almost all the commands which are in the single page. Okay, so you have any questions, anyone, till now? Okay, so if we don't have any questions, we can meet tomorrow and we will continue the Unix commands. Okay, we'll have grep, awk, okay, and set commands, how to execute them and how to get the outputs. Okay, then. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you very much.